Hello everyone and welcome to a section titled Building a Photo Library App using Xamarin.Forms. In this section we'll learn how to build a photo library cross-platform app using Xamarin.Forms. Next we'll incorporate the Xamarin Media Plugin NuGet package that will allow our app to take pictures from the camera and access the file system without having the need to write platform-specific code, as this is not natively supported in Xamarin.Forms. We will then create the user interface for our photo library app using XAML and learn how we can use the XAML previewer to see how our UI layout will render on an actual device. Next, we will learn how to write code that will interact with both the device camera and photo album. We will then incorporate the Xamarin Permissions plugin NuGet package and then add the necessary permissions to our Android manifest and info.plist files for our Android and iOS platforms. Finally, we will deploy our application to our Android device and use a third-party program called Visor to mirror the output shown on a physical device to our emulator. Building a photo library app. In this video, we'll take a look at how to create our photo library cross-platform solution using Visual Studio for Mac. Then we will look at exploring the photo library portable class library, or PCL for short, and then finally we will explore the iOS and Android solutions of our photo library application. So let's jump over to Visual Studio for Mac and see how we can achieve this. So in Visual Studio Community 2017 for Mac, we need to start by creating our photo library application, and that is done by clicking on the New Project button and then choosing the App option under the Multi-Platform section. Then click on Blank Forms App and then click on Next. And then we need to provide a name for our application for our app name field. So type in photo library and then accept the defaults and then click on Next and then click on Create. So Visual Studio will start to create our Xamarin.Forms application, and that will be eventually displayed inside the IDE. So once photo library has been created, our project has been created, you'll be presented with a Getting Started tab, and that's just basically stuff to get up to speed with Xamarin.Forms of how to add Microsoft Azure to your as a backend service to your application, or assess your app inside Xamarin Test Cloud and add any unit testing. So you can close that off. So let's start by examining what's contained inside our photo library solution. So firstly, you'll notice that we have three sub-projects. We have our photo library application, as well as a photo library.droid and a photo library.ios. So the photo library solution is basically our portable class library, and that contains a single Xamarin.Forms page, which is essentially a bare bones. So we basically have a content page with a label and some vertical and horizontal positionings. You'll also notice that we have our photo library Android. So these are Android specific stuff. So we have our main activity. We also have a resources folder. So you can have all your images in the drawables, and then you have layout information. And then for iOS, you have your assets folder, application delegate, as well as the entitlements and plist, as well as a storyboard. So essentially that's what we have in our solution. And as I said before, the portable class library is shared across the Android and iOS solutions.